Hey team, it's James Smith here, and today we're going to be talking all things sausages and making a jalapeno and cheddar sausage. Sweet guys, so for equipment today we don't need too much. All we need is a good quality sausage filler. This one is a 5 kilo sausage filler, so it fits 5 kilos of meat in at a time, which is more than enough than we're going to need today. And then basically all we need is a mixing tub and some good quality sausage casings. And I've been lucky enough today to have New Zealand Sausage Casing Co. come on board and sponsor this video. And this is a good home user pack. Basically you can buy enough. This would make around 5 or 6 kilos again, which suits us really well, and they're nice and cheap. So I'll chuck a link up below. So for ingredients today guys, all we're gonna need is 2 kilos of brisket mince. We're gonna need some jalapenos, some cheddar, and this special mix here, which we're gonna chuck in the box below. And get a little bit more into detail with that. So what we want to do to get started is we're basically going to put all our brisket mince in our tub. We're going to add in our special mix here, and basically what we're doing now is we're adding all the flavouring in and basically adding those binders that we want to create a really nice firm sausage so it doesn't crumble when we cook it. From there we're basically going to add half a cup of water, and then we can add our jalapenos and all our nice cheese in there too. So we want to mix that for 5 minutes. The mixing process is really important because we want everything to stick together and bind together so it doesn't crumble like we said. So we're going to get in and start mixing it. So once we've mixed all our mix together and it's really stuck together nice and firm like this one has here, now we're going to need to put our sausage casings on our sausage filler. So you can see here I've got a bowl of water. I basically soak these skins for at least an hour in lukewarm water just to remove all the salt and kind of lubricate them up a little bit. So what I recommend too before actually putting these on your sausage filler is you actually open up the end and you actually start to cup and bring water through the inside of the skin. What this does is actually clears out anything on the inside and actually makes it easier, so when we're actually filling our sausages they kind of slide off a little bit easier and don't stick and rip. So we'll just do that a few times, and then basically from there we can start to put our skin on. Okay, so basically from there all we're going to do is just feed that skin onto our sausage filler. I like to pinch the end and then kind of just force any water out that's in the middle of them. So once we've put enough sausage skins onto our sausage filler, basically we're just going to cut them off. And now is probably a good time to mention that today we're actually using a hog casing, a natural hog casing that is 32 to 35 millimeters basically wide. That is kind of your standard size for sausages, what we use in butcher shops. If you're wanting to make a breakfast sausage or anything like that, you're better to use a sheep casing, which is slightly smaller by about 10 mil. So, but today again, like I said, we're using the hog casing. That's generally your normal sausage size. So once we've put our skin on, we're basically gonna pack all our meat into our sausage filler. Now, top tip that I'll give you guys is basically wet the inside of the filler. So get a little bit of water and just cup it in there. We want to do that so that it's not sticking in any of our sausage meat to the inside of the filler. From there, we're going to start to pack our meat into our filler. So we'll grab all our meat, basically stand it up, start to force this inside our filler. So when you're doing this guys, you want to pack it in really tight. We want to avoid any air bubbles getting on the inside of our sausages, because if we're filling our sausages with air, we're going to have a little bit of a problem. So pack it in really nice and tight and push any of that air out. So once we've packed it all in tight, we can put our sausage filler together. What we're going to do now is just feed through that meat. You can see here I haven't actually put the casing over the end yet because we don't want to fill it with air. We're going to push any little bits of air bubbles out, feed it, and feed that meat through. So once you've fed the meat through there, once you've put your hand on the end of it, we're basically going to move the skin up now, and we're just going to tie 2 knots. This is obviously to stop the sausage meat from running out the end. And then we're good to fill. So with filling, what we want to do is we want to keep a little bit of pressure on the end, not too much, and we want to slightly start to fill them out. We're going to stop there. We basically don't want to overfill these sausages. So if you have too much tension on the end, you're going to overfill the sausage, and when you link them, they're going to burst. So around about there is what we want. We don't want them too skinny, but we also don't want to overfill them. If you start to find that you get air bubbles in them, what we can do, we can see there's a little bit of air just in that casing there. we just get the back of our knife and we just tap the back. Basically that's just going to puncture any holes and get rid of all that air. Cool, so we've come to the end of our sausage mix now, and basically all we're going to do is we're going to pull off enough that we can tie a knot in it, cut it, and loop it around and tie a knot. Now comes the fun part. Basically now we're going to start to link the sausages. So there's heaps of different ways that you can link a sausage. You can do the American way where you just pinch and twist, but we're not going to do that today. We're actually going to learn how to tie sausages the exact same way that I tie them. So today I like to make these sausages a little bit longer. Again, size wise, just depending on how big you want to make them. It's all up to you. Standard size sausage is around about there. We're going to make them slightly longer, more like a hot smoke sausage or a hot link. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to pinch it 3 times so we get the measurement of our sausage right to start with. So pinch it once, and then we want to make sure that they're nice and even. So we're going to pinch them again, measuring them out, and then 3 times. Now from here it gets a little bit tricky. It is simple, it isn't witchcraft, it isn't anything kind of crazy. We're just going to be basically picking them up and twisting them in that linking spot that we had them before. So breaking that down, if we go back, we unlink our sausage, all we did was pick it up in our 3 link spots and twist it. It's all about that wrist movement. Now we're going to do is repeat the same thing. We're going to bring our sausage through, again the same kind of length, pinch it and come under. Bringing the next lot through, again we're measuring out 2 sausages here, one there, and we're twisting it. Pinching the top again, back under, and then repeating the same process, bringing enough for 2 sausages through and twisting them. So we're just repeating that process, pinching down, coming under, pulling 2 sausages through, twisting with our wrist, bringing them back through, pressing down and twisting. You're never going to get it perfect, you're never going to get that end sausage the same length, but this one's pretty accurate. Not every time that happens. So we've made our sausages, guys, and we're ready to hang them. Okay, so touching base on hanging, I always recommend that you kind of hang your sausages in a chiller, just 3 to 4 degree temperature, anything along that, for at least kind of 24 hours. What that does is it actually helps the sausages set and become quite firm. So when you cook them, they're not going to be sloppy and the meat's not going to kind of run out or anything like that. So hang them for 24 hours and then we're good to chuck them in the smoker. So our sausages that come out of the fridge now, they've set for 24 hours and they're nice and firm. Now we're ready to smoke them. I basically like smoking these for around about 20 to 30 minutes at about 150 degrees Celsius, and they're a really good thing to chuck on when you're doing your pulled porks, your briskets, and everything along those lines. So let's get cracking, let's chuck them on the smoker and let's get eating some.